What is going on, guys? It's your boy Ellis here, and something I think I have not done on this channel at all is actually introduced myself properly. It's always what's going on, guys. It's your boy Ellis here. I'm pretty sure nobody knows my name. If you do know my name, comment it below, and I'm pretty sure no one knows my age. If you do know my age, try and guess it below. But my name's Alkeem Alvarado Ellis. I don't know why I just put my full name out there, but anyways, I am 19 years of age. I'm not going to tell you my actual age. I'm forever going to be 19 years of age. If you can guess it, then leave it down below and I'll see who gets my age right. I want to see how old you guys think I am. Anyways, that's not what this video is about. What I wanted to talk about is my trading journey. I've recently made a video about my trading update. I started properly the start of this year, and I've done a video in April basically saying how it's going percentage wise, my ups and downs and stuff like that. But this is like my actual journey, why I started trading from the first day, my first trade, everything. I just wanted to give an insight to what it's like, because I've recently heard a few people's trading stories and it's really like inspired me, because I mean, trading isn't one of them topics that's brought up a lot, and unless you know someone that's already doing it, it's kind of a lonely game. I mean, I reckon probably like 0.5 in 10 people probably actually know a bit about trading to maintain a conversation, maybe even less. So it's kind of a very lonely profession. But recently I've heard a few people's stories, and I remember like a few years ago when I started, and I actually felt the same way. And I just wanted to share that story, as I keep saying. So I started trading in 2015. I'll say July, August. I think I started to know the actual name and what it's about around July times, and around August that was the first time I opened an account. So the reason I got into it anyways was because I just wanted to make a bit of extra money on the side. I wanted the fast cars. I wanted to quit my job. You know, the whole shenanigans, if that's what you want to call it, the whole routine of what everyone always says. I just wanted to create a bit of lifestyle, to be honest. So I was online one day and I think I was just typing in how to make extra money online. I came across so many different stuff, and I've been particularly, as you guys probably see like a million times on YouTube, like Trading 212 always have these adverts about if you want to trade the global financial markets and whatnot. So I saw one of their adverts, and then I was like, okay, let's see what this is about. Clicked on it, opened the demo account. I think it was probably like £100 I selected as my starting capital, and long story short, I placed the trade. The trade went up like £2-3, and I was like, oh my god, I can make like £2-3 in like a few seconds. This is crazy. I'm gonna get into this full time. And done a bit of research. I actually put £100 of my capital in within like the first week of winning that £3 demo account. So I put like £100. I think this is easy. So my first strategy was actually going back a few days and looking at a particular time what happened. So I think it was like probably like a Friday or a Thursday or something, and I went back and I looked on what happened the previous day at 1 o'clock. And if the market went down at 1 o'clock, then I was waiting until 1 o'clock for the market to do the same thing again. So that was my actual first strategy, and that's like, thinking back at it, it was so stupid. That was just basically gambling. But after that, I was just constantly trying to figure out what this thing is, trying to learn, just gathering as much information as possible. And I came across this guy that said he'd done trading, and he was like, I'm just gonna cut the story short. He was just like, okay, give me £500, and within a week I'll get you up 30%, so I'll give you like £600 or whatever the amount was. I was thinking, oh, that's nice. So I didn't really have £500 at the time. So I was okay, I don't have £500, but I'll give you 200. I was like, okay, I'll call someone up and see if they can match you, because the minimum is 500. Anyways, within like 30 seconds, apparently someone said, okay, they're willing to give half of that. As I said, I knew nothing about the trading at the time, so I was just so naive, and I just like wanted to learn and wanted to make money. So I gave him 200. And before, I was actually going on holiday like in September. This was around August, September, starting of September times, and I was actually going on holiday like in mid-September. So I actually wanted that money. I was like, okay, I'll get it back in a week. The week passed, made some excuses about performance didn't get to what to expected, blah blah blah. Give me another week. gave him another week. Actually went on holiday, came back, and he completely blocked my number. Couldn't get in contact with him. That was like the first time I actually got scammed. It wasn't a lot compared to what other people always say that was like 10 grand and all these crazy numbers. I've never lost that much, but that was the first time I got scammed. But it didn't really put me off, because during the time that I did actually have to speak with him, he did tell me a few bits and bobs about trading. He probably didn't know how to trade himself, if I'm honest, but he did tell me something that really ignited some kind of fume in me that made me want to start learning more. So after I got scammed, I was hurt at the time, but now I'm kind of over it. If I do see this guy, yeah. So that ignited the fume for me to start learning. I started learning. Then I saw binary options, and I thought binary options was a way, because it was just a simple up and down, and I thought it was a lot more simple than Forex itself, even though it's kind of similar. So I went into binary options, and literally like every day I'd put like £50 in, I'll lose it. I put another £50 and I'll lose it. I put another £50 and I'll lose it. And I always just think I'm gonna make it one day. I'm gonna make it one day. And I think the best binary period I actually had was I put £20 in one morning before I went to college, and by 11 o'clock I was up like £220. I was like saying to my girlfriend, babe, look how sick I am. And I actually thought, yo, I've made it. And I remember sitting around in the computer desk. I was meant to be doing my work, and I was actually doing my work. I was just like looking at charts, and this guy next to me saw that I was at charts. I was like, oh, you do trading? I was like, yeah. I was like, oh, I tried it once. It's kind of pointless. You're just not gonna win. I was like, nah, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm telling this guy, he doesn't know what I'm talking about, like I do, because I've just made like a few £100 before college. And I was just saying everything that I've heard the professionals say from the videos that I've watched. I was just saying that to him, thinking I know what I'm talking about. And within that day, I lost everything. So I blew a lot of accounts. I haven't like blew like thousands. I blew like small hundreds, 50s and stuff like that. And learned my lessons. I would always take breaks. Like 1 month I'll be on it, then after 3 months, and I just always take little breaks. But then I say the start of this year, leading up to the start of this year, so around September time, I actually got really serious, and I started to I spent hours and hours every night on chart backtesting strategies. And I mean, backtesting is a way to figure out if your strategy is working. And I've backtested so many strategies that I've never even traded, but it was just to help me build my what's that? I cannot remember that word in my head. Reticularly activating. I can't remember that word, but it's just that recognition. Can't even speak. That recognition thing in your head, that when you see something you recognize it and you've seen it before, and you just kind of get used to a pattern kind of thing. So I spent so many hours on charts, backtesting and stuff, and then got to a point where I thought, you know what, I'm ready for this. I can actually do this. And I felt lost in a sense. I just still felt lost. I just never felt like I actually knew what I was doing. Like, even though I saw the strategies worked from like 5 years ago up until this day, so profitable, and I used to play around with the figures, like, oh my god, if I'd have traded that at that time, this amount, I'd have made like 20 grand by now, it's 50 grand, and the numbers used to just like made me go out like, wow, I can't wait. But before I started, I just felt lost. I was like, I need to pay. The reason, God, I can't speak today. The reason, going back a few months, the reason I didn't pay for a course or get paid for an education, because at the time I just thought it was extortion. It was way too much money. It was way too much money, like 5 grand, 3 grand. I could not afford that at the time. So I was like, there's no way I'm paying for that. I'd rather just learn by myself. And as I said, I did get up to a point where I thought I knew a lot. And the first actual trading event that I went to was somewhere in Birmingham at a hotel, and it was these learn to trade people, and they basically sat a lot of people in the room, explained to them about trading, showed us how they made like 10 grand in like 30 seconds, got us all excited and happy. And then at the end of the training, they were like, okay, the course is normally 10 grand, but for a special offer, when you can just tell that it's just not legit in a sense, when you could just tell. And it was all like, I just knew I wanted to get involved because I wanted to be around traders, but at the same time, I'm not gonna spend 6-7 grand on a course. Like, it's just pointless. But that was like earlier on last year, and as I said, leading up to the start of this year was in January. for my New Year's, I actually be like, you know what, I'm gonna make a New Year's commitment to pay for a course. It was like one of my New Year's resolution: pay for a course, complete the course, and start trading properly, because I actually want to take this seriously. So I actually came across the company that I paid for a course for. Actually came across them before. The name's Infinite Prosperity, and I came across them before through Instagram. I remember Amy, I saw her with a horse and she was living this amazing lifestyle. I was like, wow, what do you do? So I clicked the link in the bio, Infinite Prosperity, blah blah blah. Check it, 2 free lessons, and all this. Went over there, and even though the course was so much less than what I previously saw, I was still kind of like, I don't want to pay. I just don't want to pay. I was just trying to hold on to what I already have. But after reading a lot and getting my awareness like up, I realized that, you know what, the best investment you can make is actually in your education, because people think that trading is just like, it's because it's so accessible, people think it's so easy, but it's not. It's just like any other career or any other business. It's really important that you get yourself educated. Like, for instance, if you're a pilot, you wouldn't expect paying like £50 for a piloting course and then expect to transport like 500 people on a passenger airline. It's just not possible. So that in mind, I was just thinking, okay, as I said, it was for my New Year's resolutions. My New Year's resolution, I'm going to pay for a course. So I paid for the course Infinite Prosperity. Within the month, I was constantly on the software, like reading all the information, getting all the knowledge in there. And after the end of January, I was like, okay, I'm ready. And I started trading at the end of January. Opened a small account. I didn't even go demo. Opened a small account, started trading, and it was the first time I was actually 100% committed, I would say, because all the previous strategies that I used to trade, it was literally, if I didn't win within the first 2 trades, I would completely scrap that strategy and I'll try and find something else. So after completing the Infinite Prosperity course, I started trading straight away live, and I was trading 20 pairs, I think it was. And even though they said I should only risk 1%, I thought that because I was using a very tight, or not very tight, but a very manageable stop loss, whereas like I'm constantly managing my losses, I wouldn't need to risk 1%. I can just risk a higher amount. So I was actually risking 5% on 20 pairs. And at the time, I didn't think nothing of it. I thought, yeah, this is good. The account did go up a bit, around, I can't remember exact numbers. I think it was like 20% or something like that. The account went up, and I was like, yes, 20%. And then it went down around 60%. It went down around 60%. And at that time, I was like, okay, something's wrong here. Done my first ASR, something that they teach, Advanced Self-Review. Then my first ASR, I realized that all of this was down to my fault. All of this was basically down on me, because of me not doing, like, I was just making so many mistakes, not using any common sense in a way. Like, even though I understand the cycle of the markets, I was still just blindly entering trades based on the strategy, not taking into consideration certain levels that the market's at. And that was around in April. Then I was just like, okay, I need to stop. So I stopped around mid-April after I made that video. Link is somewhere up there. After I made that video, I stopped after that, and took the time. I was like, okay, I need to get myself. There's something missing. I need to get, like, I don't know. There was just something missing. I just felt I was still too get rich quick mentality. I just felt like I was missing out so much. So I just wanted to get a part of the game, in a sense. So that was what made me get, like, that was just what made me go through that period of struggle and not making the progression that I should have been making. But back to the current day, a few videos back, I done a video with Nat, the owner of AstroFX, and we had a very good interview. Like, we asked him a few questions about trading and stuff like that, and it really opened my eyes. So after that conversation, I actually like, okay, I'm gonna get myself, like, I need to get myself back proper. Like, I just need to get my mindset right. Even though I thought it was right, but it just wasn't. I was still too get rich quick mentality, as I keep saying. I was just still on that. I just want this fast. If it's not working out, even though I know it's not the way to think, I'm trying to reprogram my mind. But so yeah, after that conversation, took some time, done some reading, got myself back rooted, and it's where I am today. Like, started trading again. Won a few trades so far, lost a few trades so far. The process is long, it's grueling, it's grimy. The process it's not easy process, but it's a process I'm willing to take because I see the long-term rewards of it. But I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm completely killing it, I'm completely smashing it, because I'm not. But now that I actually know a few traders like that and stuff like that, I mean, I can ask them a few questions if I'm struggling and whatnot. And it kind of seems strange that I actually learned through Infinite Prosperity, and then I know a few people from a different company, but it doesn't really matter who you learn from, because at the end of the day, everyone has a different style of learning. Because with Infinite Prosperity, it is mainly a lot of reading, whereas with Astro Effects, they actually face-to-face give you a course, what I can see is could be very beneficial to a lot of people, but they want that face-to-face, like that face-to-face interaction, and it's a 3-day face-to-face interaction, like in a classroom around other traders learning. I think it's a very good environment for a new trader, whereas just sitting around a computer by yourself and just reading off the computer screen can be probably lonely. So every company has the pros and cons. I went through Infinite Prosperity because at the time it suited my budget. Those are two companies that I would say if I had to do it again at the start of my journey, I would consider definitely paying for a course for either one or two of them. I think there's one more that I would recommend, and it's an American-based company, Trading Empowered. I actually learned a lot from them. I'll leave all the links below in the description. I actually learned a lot from them as well, but those are like the only 3 companies that I would actually really recommend, because everyone else the trading industry has a bad reputation because there's so many people that sells dreams and hopes and doesn't actually teach you what's really required and the necessary skills. To just tell you that I can get you making 5k a month and stuff like that, which is not realistic unless you know what you're actually doing. So for everyone that is interested in trading and wants to know a bit more about it, I mean, if you have to ask me any questions in the descriptions, you need to pay for a course. It's plain and simple as that. If you need to ask me anything regarding trading, unless you're talking about, like, I don't know, if you have to ask me anything about what platform do you use, what compute, if you have to ask me anything like that, then you literally need to pay for a course, and it's that simple. And as I said, the information is out there, but it's all over the place, and it will take you a long time to get it all together and then still feel like you know what you're doing. Because I got all the information in, and even after I took the course, it was everything I already knew to an extent, but it still definitely made me feel a lot better after taking a course. So those are the 3 companies that I recommend. So if you're interested in trading, I'll leave them down below. And I'm serious, like, if you're interested, the best investment you can make is in your education or in yourself. With any profession in the world, with any profession at all, if you wanted to be a lawyer, a doctor, a pilot, you have to spend tens of thousands in university to obtain a degree. And with trading, it's a fraction of the price, and the profits are much larger. The profits are so much larger. It's unreal. But I'll leave that decision up to you. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just sharing my story. And that is it. That's my trading story so far. I mean, I would always share my progress and stuff like that. I think the next time I will do an update is probably going to be in September. So that's going to be my next trading update. So hopefully I'll get my head down, I'll get rooted, and in September time I'll do another update, and you guys can see where I am, and hopefully you guys can tell me that you made the decision to invest in a course yourself and how it's going for yourself. But if you're thinking about it, and if you just want I want to help you in any way, I don't know, just leave a comment below. Hit me up on Instagram. I always reply to a lot of people on Instagram, and I'll get back to you. But apart from that, thank you guys for watching the video, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit the notification button for when I post a video. And hopefully I do post this video because it's such a long one, it's probably like 20 minutes, but if you do stay and watch it till the end, then thank you very much, and I will see you in a next one. Peace. That was long.